Barry the water bottle gazed out of his fridge.
I'm bored,
He sighed. Just then, a giant hand opened the door, reached around, and lifted him off the shelf.
It's finally happening!
Barry cried with glee.
It's time for an adventure!
Suddenly, a dark and cavernous hole appeared out of nowhere. Barry was terrified. The hand lifted him closer and closer to it.
What's happening?
He cried as his head disappeared into the void. Barry felt lighter, empty, dry. Then he was flying through the air, and everything went black.
Hello?
Barry cried out.
Is anyone out there?
As he got used to the gloominess, Barry saw a small group of bottles just like him, huddling together in the corner.
You're just like us.
Whispered one.
A human used you, then threw you away.
Just then, the sound of machinery gave the bottles a fright. The recycling bin they were in was upturned onto the back of a truck. As Barry rolled around, bumping into the other bottles, he sadly thought to himself,
This is it.
Suddenly, the truck stopped, and the bottles were flung into the bright light. As he flew through the air, Barry caught a glimpse of a sign.
Flight Plastics Recycling Plant. Recycled plastic? Does that mean this isn't the end?
A few months later, Barry found himself sitting in another fridge. But this time, things were different. His neighbours weren't water bottles. They were punnets of fruit, just like him. He thought back to his recycling adventure with Flight Plastics, when he'd been picked up off the side of the road and taken to the new Flight Plastics facility that washes and recycles PET plastic into flakes, which are then turned into food packaging, the only one of its kind in New Zealand. He'd been on many adventures in his former life as a water bottle, and thanks to Flight Plastics, it was almost time for another.
Thank you, Flight Plastics.